This is a preview of our in-depth episode on the life and work of Cormac McCarthy with the great American writer Aaron Gwynn. For early access to the entire episode, subscribe at patreon.com/artofdarkpod or substack.com/@artofdarkpod. Here's $70,000 and a brand new hot wife and a Jaguar, and let's get a place on the beach in Ibiza, and then at the same time let's try to get some serious writing done.
Yeah,
This is not gonna happen.
not great.
So they go back to the United States. Apparently she was excited about going to the United States. Where do they go? Why? Knoxville, of course. Now I think this would be 1967, October of 1967. He'd been in Europe for about 2 years, more than 2 years. I think after his return is the first time he meets Albert Erskine in person, actually. It had been all correspondence up till then, I'm pretty sure. And they, let's see, what do I talk about? Oh, yeah, okay. Sorry, I kind of lost my place here. Okay, 1968, not Outer Dark, but Child of God comes out. Let's see. And one thing worth noting here is basically from from Orchard Keeper to Child of God, sales actually went down after each of them. So, after some amount of time that they had been published, sort of in the first edition, Orchard Keeper sold the most. Outer Dark sold a little bit less, and then my understanding is Child of God sold even a little less than that. So despite the fact that he's getting Rockefeller grants, he's getting the William Faulkner Award, he's getting Academy of Arts and Sciences thing, the actual establishing a writer as a career as a writer who sells books, that's not really going in the right direction. Nonetheless, he is making a name amongst critics to some degree. A really important review came through a new personal friend of the writer Guy Davenport, wrote a glowing review of Outer Dark for the New York Times. And Davenport is an interesting guy, extremely talented writer in his own right. And also he's a sort of another, I thought that this was pretty interesting when you find these living links between Cormac and, say, the modernists, the capital M modernists. Guy Davenport was a personal friend of Cormac McCarthy. Guy Davenport also visited Ezra Pound regularly at St. Elizabeth's. So, just kind of an interesting how the 6 degrees of separation, how these connections are all made.
Well, this is what we say in the pod is there are only 25,000, 50,000
Right.
people alive at any given time. The rest, it's just a simulation and we're some sort of, anyway, there you go.
Yeah.
It is very strange in this podcast. You find these little pockets and it's not that hard to connect one person. The more generous way to look at that would be we're all connected. We're all
That's
closer to each other than we think. That would be the nice way to put it. This show is called Art of Darkness, so we
right.
lean the other way sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Now by the time a year or so after he gets back from Ibiza, the Rockefeller money has run out. He sells film rights for a fairly modest sum. Go ahead.
That is a champagne problem in a way.
Yeah.
Right, the Rockefeller money has run out.
Oh dear! Is there any Rockefeller money left? Yeah,
I seem to have spent all the money from the Rockefellers. A very nice problem to have.
Right.
However, you still have no money.
You still have no money. Yeah, you have to think there was a moment where his wife was like, "Well, certainly they have a lot of money. Maybe you could ask them for more."
Why are these Rockefellers so stingy?
Right.
How did they get to be so wealthy? It wasn't by giving degenerate writers. It was definitely not by supporting writers. I'll tell you that.
That's not how you make billions with a B.
No, not how you keep them too. Unfortunately.
Yeah. That's so funny. Okay, so he does sell film rights. Ballantine buys mass market paperback rights to Outer Dark and Orchard Keeper for like 7,500 bucks. Those print runs did not do particularly well. He applied for a Guggenheim, stating that it was to support his work on Suttree, which he had been working on for 6 years. And by 1969, he apparently had 1,800 draft pages. And of course, he got a Guggenheim. I struggled to find anything that Cormac tried to do in terms of getting a grant or whatever that didn't happen. There's not a lot of he applied for this thing and tough luck. Good, try again next year. That doesn't seem like that ever happened to him, but maybe I'm missing it. Okay, 1969 or so, settling in Tennessee with Anne Delisle. This time he wasn't quite as poor when he lived in Sevier County with Lee, but there still isn't like a ton of cash. They apparently lived on I said they lived on a pig farm earlier. When he was with Lee, they lived in a mountain shack. This time they lived on a pig farm. Very different.
Wow. Rewind. Mountain shack
right.
Hitherto.
Right.
Now pig farm. This is very important because that is in literature and writing and drama, we talk about the progression of character.
Right.
So they've gone from the mountain shack
to
a pig farm.
Right. Correct. You've got.
I don't know if you guys have been on a pig farm, but it smells to high heaven, man.
It's not great. It's not a good smell. No, it'll turn you off eating bacon, frankly, for a little while.
It will for a while.
Yeah.
Then it feels like revenge. Then it feels like the smell of victory.